Welcome to The Grant, the EU funding podcast. The Grant. My name is Niels Tudor-Vinter, and I'm the creator, editor, and host of The Grant. The Grant is an independent, non-commercial podcast initiative with the ambition to dig into all corners of the EU R&D funding system on topics of interest for the full EU R&D funding community. The one thing that has the potential to fundamentally change the area of EU R&D funding for good is the development of artificial intelligence. ChatGPT broke through a year and a half ago, and the development of this technology and available services, free as well as paid, are going at the speed of light. In the Grant Editor's office, I am of course following this closely, so I have decided to make an AI series where I dig into this in more detail. And of course I do this with some of the sharpest professionals on the topic. Independent consultant and AI chat guru Kristjan Zemljic and senior consultant and very proactive AI chat user Rita Gil Mata. In this first episode we have a look at the most important different AI chat tools available at the moment and what are the differences between them, what you can use them for. We also shortly touch upon how my guests are using them. Please enjoy. Grant. Welcome to The Grant, the EU funding podcast. Today, I'm going to try something new. Now, you know what? Being a podcaster, and being a podcaster as I am, where you're independent, you do it on the side of your daytime job. It's always a search to try to see how can I improve my product. Even though I don't have much time to do so. But here I'm trying a little bit, and that's what we're going to do today. I have a couple of guests. But I have picked out a topic that has been massively popular in formal recordings of this podcast. We're going to talk about artificial intelligence, AI, ChatGPT, and how to work with it in relation to proposals. And it's like this when you're a podcaster. You review your statistics, you look at your episodes, what's rolling, what is it that people really like to hear about. And here is a topic that was just through the roof. So it was my best choice to say, look, now I'm going to do a little bit more on that. But on top of that, this podcasting thing, I also play a little bit with my format because they tend to be quite long, my episodes. I'm going to try to make it shorter. This episode, what we're going to do now is a series of 3 episodes with artificial intelligence and proposals. So we have time to dig in without it being a 1 hour and a half every time. I have been blabbering on already, as I have a tendency to do. So my guests are just sitting and waiting here now. Ladies first, Rita, welcome.
Thank you so much, Niels.
Sure. It's a pleasure, really. We'll get back to that in a second. And Kristjan, welcome back.
I'm back. Thank you, Niels. Thank you for having me.
Always nice to have you on board. And it's, you know what, you're very busy, man. So when I follow you on LinkedIn, I think, how on earth does he have the time to do what he's doing? But then I'm thinking about myself that I'm podcasting at the same time as I'm having a daytime job. But I'm still not working in the evenings. Now, Rita, so dear listeners, I've said this before and I say it again. I try to pick up people that have an edge and have a good profile and have something nice to say on LinkedIn. And Rita is one of those. She's in that group together with Kristjan.
Thank you.
So I'm very happy to have you in. Shortly, Rita, where do you work and what's your experience on EU funding?
So I am working as a grant writer. I'm a senior consultant. I have been working on EU funding 20 years now. So actually turning 20 years on the funding ecosystem for research and innovation this year. And in the last years, in the last 3 to 4 years, I am really much more focused on grant writing. I was doing it before, but not in such a full focus mode. Yeah. That's a grant writer full time right now.
Kristjan?
Well, I'm in grant writing similar to Rita since 2003, various roles. But since 2011, I was mostly grant writer, mentor, stuff like that. Focused on startups, SMEs, deep tech companies. And then with this boom of AI, things changed a lot. So instead of doing grant writing for others, I really focused on learning how to master AI. And suddenly I started to teach other grant writers and consultants and researchers and so on, entrepreneurs and every innovative soul who has will to listen, how to use it in their daily work. And I think it's a great merge of my past experience. I still do writing of EU projects, but mostly for our in-house projects now. And I deliver trainings on the topic on AI in grant writing. And I'm super happy to be here, really. It's an honor.
Yes, Kristjan, and that's a nice bridge into what we're going to talk about today. AI proposal writing, as mentioned in the fly-in here, it's going to be a small series of 3 episodes that we have sketched out, the 3 of us. And the first episode here, we're going to look at what tools are out there. So we're going to try to sort of make a humble mapping of the tools. But before we move into that, Rita, what's your experience with working with this relatively new tool?
So I think that it has been a learning curve, and it's actually the person that I first heard talking about AI in grant writing was Kristjan.
Yeah.
Yes,
Exactly.
it was, and
It's
really,
an influencer.
yes, a good one, of course. And it was so funny. And since then, at the time, I was immediately sparked, because it was not, of course, it was not the first time I was hearing about AI usage as a language model in other contexts, like writing texts for other things, in copycatting great authors and all these things. So this was already going around. But looking at it from the professional point of view of how it could be hands-on used in our daily profession, so it was Kristjan, the first one that I read about it, and it really, yes, it sparked something in me, and I was so interested in it, and now I was much more. So I think we're talking about 1.5 years from now, yeah, more or less, and since then I have been trying it out just for fun, a little bit more seriously, a little bit less seriously, with fluctuations and a very steep learning curve. And now I think I am becoming every day more experienced on it.
Yeah. You know what? I think maybe you are a mirror of many people working in this sector when it comes to these things, because Kristjan is an exception in this respect. He threw himself, you don't talk of people in third person, we're in the room. Kristjan, you threw yourself, you threw yourself at it. At this thing, and it was suddenly, it was just spraying all over LinkedIn with posts about how to work with it, how to prompt, how to what this and that, and so on and so forth. So you really threw yourself at it. But Rita, I think you are a mirror of many of us. Now, I don't work with a proposal writing anymore, but in my work, I'm slowly starting to using it for other stuff.
Yeah.
Understanding what the tool can do, or trying to slowly get an idea, but still, and this is also why I wanted to make this episode, to maybe dress people up a little bit if they have the same feeling. You work a little bit with it, but you still a little uncomfortable with using it, like to the extent of Kristjan. So you use it a little bit, and then you also maybe a little worried about what kind of data you put in there if you do propose. So this kind of things so there's both a personal psychological issue of doing something differently,
yes,
especially if you do it for clients, right?
Of course.
And then the actual technical stuff. What can it actually do? Now, maybe now I had an AI episode, but now we're going to fly in on it as well, just like we did back then, Kristjan. So maybe can you give us a short overall intro to the ChatGPT and proposal writing? So what happened, and what is it that it does? Just trying.
Okay, let me try. So for me, ChatGPT, when I noticed it in November 2022, it was like a dream come true, really. First of all, I'm really a guy who loves science fiction books and movies and stuff like that. And suddenly everything, was available on your mobile phone. So when I found the app, read about it a bit, for me, it was not like, oh, this is a strategic move. Let's explore and make something of it. I just fell in love. Yeah. It was, I felt like I've been chosen to study it and to speak about it. And it was a bit over the edge, because even my kids said, come on, this is just, you are freak, really. No, it's really. So in the last year, I invested around 1,100 hours to study it. And still, I would say so much to learn. But to make, an overall introduction, what it can do. So basically, we here have a machine. Let's say it's a machine. I named it. It's Chat. So for me, it's just Chat. My coworker, Rita knows quite well. Who can help you think more in depth, express yourself better, or show you or provide you with insights you maybe didn't thought about it. So for me, these were, all good things, but I came to that only later, because when I started as a grant writer, I just thought, damn, I know what to write. I've been in this business for quite a long time, but I'm a slow writer. So my first idea was so brilliant. This language model can do this for me. Now, as many of you probably noticed, it cannot replace you or fully replace you, but it can write or outline solid first draft or zero drafts even, depends how you call them or name them. And then you can take that and go to speak with your colleagues, peers, professionals who can actually, give you feedback. And, so this is first thing I'm always promoting, and this is what I can do with AI, not AI can do instead of me. We are not there yet, okay? When this happens, we will have some other topics to discuss.
Another podcast about it.
Definitely. But we are not there yet, so there are plenty of studies of capabilities of ChatGPT and the tests it can do better than human, but also where it fails to meet human demand. But basically, it's a huge, knowledge base where I don't say database or something like that, but knowledge base. Why knowledge base? Because it can study words and how these are related, and it's quite obvious. For example, if you ask a poor question, you will get poor answer. Yeah. I don't know if you noticed. Just today I reposted one research. It was published by Ethan Malik, so a professor at Wharton School, where the findings were that, if AI finds you less educated, it will provide you with lower quality outputs because it assumes you cannot evaluate quality anyway. So what this means is that poor first question, poor answer, and you cannot change that. So the first question should be good. And when I say knowledge base, it means that, we have billions of words connected in different ways. And we know how it is when you speak to human, it's the same thing or very similar thing. If I say, act as grant writer or generate an idea, you will get something general. If I say you are grant writer, generate idea, it will be a bit better. If I say generate, you're a grant writer specialized in Eureka, Erasmus, whatever, Horizon Europe, and generate idea, it's even better. If you say you're expert in this call, specialized in this topic, please brainstorm, outline, and then generate idea, it's going to be better. So the idea here is that more specific you are, better reply you will get, because these adjectives you use stimulate AI to find specific correlation. So if I say I'm a grant writer, I'm producing, I'm writing a project, it's okay. Give me an example of this and that, you will get answer. But if you say I'm seasoned, or you're a seasoned grant writer, used to win, he will start looking for connection of words that that provide you with different answers, better answers. So this is, basically how AI or ChatGPT in this case operates. There are some differences between free version and paid version.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, but that we're going to get to in a second. That's when we're going to map the tools, right? But this, I think, you made the core point here, that it's a machine that keeps learning and learning and learning, and keeps distills. If you give it the right input and you give it the right questions, you get more and more detailed replies back, and then you have different machines, different companies are working, different functions, and so on. And that's what we're going to talk about in a second. Rita, do you have anything to add here on the fly?
So I really do think that for grant writing, it's an area in which the impact of these language models is particularly noticeable, along with others, of course, because it's a language model, and in this sense, it really works based on patterns and statistical links of the probability of one word coming after the other. And if you understand that, of course, there are other models that are working with other kind of items and formats, but if we're looking at chat as a language model, so if you are doing grant writing, if you are writing, it's maybe grants, maybe other things, but if you are working with words and creating with words, these language models are particularly important in order to make it work better, and in order establishing these links between words that usually go along together. It's very, very useful in grant writing, not just for making it a better document itself, but also to understand what are the bridges that you are not seeing. What are the connections that are out there that you are still not aware of? What are the target groups that are connected to this thematic area, but you still haven't read about it? And in this sense, it adds. So I really do see the use of a language model as an assistant, the co-worker, like Kristjan kindly talks about it, but it's really adding and augmenting on the capacities of the grant writer.
I think it's very important to underline, in the interest of this small series here, that I think the common discourse between the three of us is that this is not cheating. This is not shortcutting. This is making your text, this is making your proposal, this is making the work that you do much, much better. So using it as a partner, as an employee, as a colleague, and using it actively to become better. So this proposal would not be written if you were not there. Yeah. So it is a tool, but it's a very sharp, nice, and helpful tool that can make it be, that can make the what you try to say.
Yeah. Can I add?
A good idea, but what you try to say is much better. Yeah, Kristjan.
For example, practical aspect. let's say that you're talking to either mentoring someone or talking to a client or with your colleagues, and let's say you have a innovation you want to develop and later on commercialize or exploit in some way. And at some point, let's say that you go for commercialization. So how mentoring looks today? You sit down with the client or CEO, head of sales, whatever, and you discuss pricing policy. Now you can explain, these are the things you should think about, this aspect, that aspect, and so on. And when you're done, you probably, everybody has full head. Some work has been done, but most of it you take home. You still need to sleep over, rethink, come back again. Yeah, it takes time. Now, all that is now put on fast forward. So you sit down with someone, you say, okay, so you have this product and you want to sell it. For example, it's selling, but it can be anything, okay? And instead of going through all this exercise, you put together a prompt, something like, I don't know, Chat, you're expert in pricing policy for, I don't know, software in DNA visualization, I don't know, something, okay? Please provide, this is my product. Now use value ladder concept to provide me with pricing policy, put it in the table, explain why this is good. And suddenly you will get instantly different pricing policies that are related to specific to your industry and your product.
Mm-hmm.
And most likely there are examples or suggestions of potential pricing strategies you never thought about it. You would or could possibly, when you speak more with people and read more literature and talk to other businessmen or researchers or whoever is important for you, you would probably come to that. But now it's there, instantly it's there. So you accelerate thinking, okay? You accelerate thinking because then you can easily say, okay, these are really interesting ideas. So Chat, help me what is good to enter the market, what is good to then define my positions, scale up. It will put you in timeline. You say which is most profitable, when, which is more risky, what are the risks, right? Elaborate mitigation strategy. So in 1 hour, you can put a lot of stuff together, which could take you days, weeks, sometimes months. Yeah. At the end, it's human being, us, at least for now, who decides. Okay. Let's hope to stay that way for a very long time. But this is how I see it. It's your, like Rita said, it's your partner. It's your somebody who thinks a bit faster. If, like you said, Niels, this would never happen if you wouldn't ask it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not cheating. It's just accelerating everything. So you can then add value, with your own experience, because Chat is still a black box. While it has a lot of factual knowledge, it doesn't have your experience, your attitude, your mindset, and stuff like that. You know where you burnt your hands, and you know what went well. So this is all something. It doesn't have any insight. It can only suggest, and then you fine tune it and move forward. It's really interesting.
I would like to add to that as in any other situation of life, there is, of course, a strong possibility of using things in a bad way and of using it for cheating, etc., etc., etc. Like everything, that possibility is out there, and that possibility exists, of course. But I do believe that it's absolutely possible to use all of the advantages of ChatGPT, maintaining a very strict ethics and integrity posture, and making sure that there is no conflict on authorship. There is no conflict on innovation. It just is adding you to the work that you already do. And when you are, for example, a grant writer and you are a researcher, and let me go back a little bit. One of the things that I have been arguing my whole professional life is that when you are a researcher, you need to be a very good researcher. And then in some point and in some countries, you also need to be a very good professor. And you also need to be a very good publisher in writing scientific papers. And then you also need to be a very good grant writer in the art of crafting your idea and convincing others to fund your idea. Well, I do believe that we are really, really asking too much about the same people. And I do believe that if some researchers aren't capable of mastering the art of crafting a proposal, that doesn't make them worse researchers, right? It just makes them potentially more unsuccessful in acquiring funding. So sometimes in acquiring funding, the means through getting the funding is about what you write. If you have something, a language model that allows you to write better, to write perfect English, to understand the better words to do that, this is not about science. This is about conveying a message through words. And the message needs to be from your own authorship, of course. But how it's crafted and how it's written, that's a different thing in my perspective.
Probably those tools, they will also be able to think a little bit on the creative side on how to set up work package descriptions and so on, and connections. But maybe we should just move into that to outlining the tools. So what does the landscape looks like, Kristjan? I guess you're the one with the best overview. I don't know. You're the one that is spent so much time on these things. So what is, how many chat machines do you have?
First of all, good luck to anyone who manages to map AI tools on the market, because it's really like daily. I'm subscribed to several emails, I guess everybody is, or at least some, doesn't matter. And it's always, you see breaking news, 5 new tools for this and that. And it's just,
I think you need to zoom out, Kristjan. I think you need to zoom out, because I think many of the listeners we have here, they have only been dealing with ChatGPT.
Oh, yeah, but
I haven't done anything else.
Okay, so from the language models, at least what I use at the moment is ChatGPT, the paid version, and Claude, the paid version. And I started to play around with Mistral. It's another language model. Mistral is interesting because it has the capacities a bit over ChatGPT free version, but it operates independent of access to internet. So you can put it on your machine, computer, phone, and it will work on your data and not, sharing it anywhere and so on. So it's an interesting stuff. I like to use BART recently. I didn't always. From tools, Perplexity for fact checking, Research Rabbit to find research literature and how it's connected, Quillbot
so you're already moving a little bit too fast, because now you're because what I would
stop me, because I'm just warming up.
Kristjan, what I would like, because just dear listeners, I will put links to the core main tools that Kristjan is mentioning here, so you can go on the episode site and find direct access to these things if you can't remember them by heart when you finish listening to this. But no, so you already mentioned this one is good for this and this one is good for this. So if we just take the 4 that you just mentioned, so if you start out with the one everybody knows, ChatGPT, what is the key capacity of that? What is it best at?
Okay. Again, I think we need to separate free from paid version, because free version so it's very good for text analysis, sentiment analysis, maybe writing out decent texts. It really looks good, but once you try the paid version, it really wanes. It's just different. So the level of in-depth thinking with paid version is, I'm not promoting it, I'm using it. I cannot imagine why I wouldn't, but it saves
It's the only one I'm using. It's the only one I use, so I don't have anything else to compare with, but I'm using it because I had a partner in a work from another organization that showed it to me. And that's, the thing that you can upload documents, you can feed it with reports, statistics, with internet sites, with you can just feed it with information, say, look, write a resume, 10 lines, or like bullet point me this and this. For like that's I agree. It's I've worked. I just briefly tried the free version and just playing a little bit around, but actually I'm using the paid version for my work and for my podcast.
Free is not bad, far from it. Just in time, this year and a half, like Rita said, many other models emerged. They are at least equally good or better, like Claude, for example.
What does that do?
Claude?
I'm just pushing you to
No, you're not pushing me.
to map them a little bit here. So what? How is Claude? What is the key capacities of that? What is it?
So I take it like this: if ChatGPT paid version is a very strategic and in-depth thinker, okay, Claude is a poet. So what I do is I usually create prompts in chat, and then let's say if I want to write something very complicated or think something very strategic, then I take that and put it into Claude. Claude is another language model who is a poet in expression. So the main difference is that maybe it doesn't go that deep in reasoning, but it does write more human-like.
Okay.
Yeah. It's apologies to people from Germany, but ChatGPT sounds to me quite German. It's how to say hard words. Tuck tuck tuck. Ich liebe Kartoffel und tam tam tam. Yeah. And Claude is like a poet. It's very hard sometimes to to understand, was it human written or is it AI?
It's been Latinized.
Yeah. And another thing, Claude, the paid version again, has unbelievable memory.
Yeah.
Up to 75,000 words. And the free version of ChatGPT has only 3,000. Meaning that if you have longer conversations in free ChatGPT, suddenly it starts to hallucinate, talks weird stuff, not anymore related to what you asked it. While Claude can speak for 75,000 words quite focused.
Yeah. Then you mentioned Bart, but you also mentioned another one.
Mistral.
Yeah.
Mistral is developed by French deep tech company. Recently, it beat ChatGPT 3.5, so it's the free version in several, tests, whatever they measure, like smartness and so on. But it seems it has the potential to compete with paid version of ChatGPT. I don't know, we didn't see it, so we don't know, but there are several research papers and discussions on that it really could be the next competitor. At the moment, its key advantage is that, like I said earlier, it can run on your machine without disclosing confidential information, sharing it with anyone. It's just, it can be on your phone or on your disk, and you can do magic with it without being afraid of sending something you don't want to send to someone who you don't want it to read, eventually.
Yeah. In other words, it's good for confidentiality.
Yeah.
Yes.
And smart. So it's a good tool. I'm really following it. So whenever the paid version is available, trust me, I'm the first waving with my credit card.
Throwing money at the screen.
Yeah. So I shouldn't disclose everything because my wife will just kill me one day.
No, but it's for the company.
I don't think that ChatGPT is going to be able to help you with that.
No.
Maybe. Bring her out for dinner.
Yeah.
No. Kristjan, Bart.
So I was not using it at the beginning because it was hard to access, mostly limited to US. Now it's available, I think, to anyone, to everyone. And it turns out it's, so I don't use it for other things than non-grant writing things.
No.
Like, now we are traveling to Costa Rica, so I asked it to write out what to see, what not to see, and because it has access to internet, it can provide you with links and everything. But the most interesting stuff for me was actually it can work on images, which I liked a lot. So
is Bart Google's?
Yes, it's done by Google. And, it's powered by Gemini. It's the large language model. And according to Google, they have developed Gemini, is it Ultra? So one version of it, which can kick ChatGPT paid version. They said it's smarter, yeah. But let's wait for the release. So I use it mostly to, upload images and ask it to describe them, outline them, whatever I need to immediately create. For example, you upload radar chart and you ask it what it is, and it gives you a good description of what it is and some background, and then I take that and put it into ChatGPT for further, elaboration on how could I use that for a specific purpose and so on.
Yeah, actually, I think I registered. I did something with it, but they haven't released it really, right? The Gemini, what do they call it?
I think the middle version is already integrated and it works well. It's smart, but not somehow. So look, bottom line, no language model at the moment reached GPT-4. Yeah, that's it. So if you want structured thinking, in-depth thinking, strategic thinking, and so on, at the moment, this is what we have. It may change, from today to tomorrow. This may be outdated information, honestly.
Yeah, but they're still the front runners, right?
So far.
And that's so if you should give a recommendation of which one, if you should start working with this, you would start with ChatGPT.
Yes, I would because at the moment it's the smartest, and if you know how to prompt ChatGPT, you can prompt any model at the moment. There are some slight differences, but you can do it.
Rita, which of these have you been using?
So I have been using Claude, especially Claude. I really, really like Claude. And ChatGPT, free version, paid version. So these are the two ones that I have used more. And actually, I sometimes use them for different things, which is really interesting because whenever I want to to brainstorm about a certain subject, I try to brainstorm in both of them, and sometimes things are different in the sense that I found more interesting information that comes from one and not from the other. And this is because they were trained with a language data, a large data of language that potentially could have more information on one topic than on the other because they are different from another. So So whenever I want to brainstorm about a certain topic, which is something that I do a lot in terms of, exploration, when I pick up a topic that I'm working about and I really want to explore it a little bit and to see how it's the macro vision of a certain topic. So I run it, run one against each other. So that's when I have very go-to daily things to tackle. I use chat usually, either a free version or a paid version. So I think, I don't know what's your opinion, Kristjan, but if you have ChatGPT free version, I would say go for Claude, because I think that in comparison of free versions, I personally prefer Claude. If you have ChatGPT paid version, then okay, it will perform. Of course, it will perform better.
Absolutely agree. Claude, even the Claude, the free version does better job. First of all, the free version ChatGPT cannot work on documents. Claude can. So it can, digest 5 documents, each 10 megabytes, which is quite a lot of data. So, and, it's not that complicated to prompt or ask it what to do. So imagine you upload 5 documents and you can say, compare these documents, what you would do, you would say, let's say, summarize each of the document, and then analyze them, and then compare, whether these agree or disagree, is there a gap or some, you can work on document. This is a big deal. And it's available for free in Claude, and it does a really good job. I think it's better than free version of Chat. It really is.
Actually, that was the first. Yeah, it's free. Claude, it's free. One of the first time I used Claude, it was precisely because of this, because there was the possibility of uploading PDFs to it, so it would analyze it, and this is really, really interesting. So, for example, that the vast majority of European policies, they are all out there, they are all public, and they are all using PDFs. And sometimes you see, you're reading a call and there are some information on the destinations or on the call topic that mention specific policies. So it's really, really useful that you can pick up these PDFs, which are public documents that exist out there, available for anyone. You're not submitting any delicate or confidential data. They are just public documents. And you put them in. And for example, let's imagine that the call that you are looking at, it's on sustainability or of something. Then you say, okay, these 3 documents, they were all mentioned in the call of sustainability. What is the common thread? What are the specific points mentioned in the policies that come to that? Because what's in the call, it's too short, right? You need to dig deeper. So this was actually the first thing that led me to try out Claude. And I was really, really happy with it, because you can imagine, so it's really faster. I am perfectly capable of reading 5 policies and identifying the topics on myself, right? It's not a matter that I am not. It's just that potentially this takes me 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 hours. It will depend on how tired I am. And maybe it's something that I am missing. And it comes back, okay, so first answer might not be so good. You need to refine it a little bit, refine. Okay, let's make it 30 minutes, just to give us, a very easy working mode. And in 30 minutes, you have it there. Exactly the same thing that you would do in 5 hours or 4. So I recommend Claude.
Indeed, so we have nicely bridged naturally into the explanation on how these tools they work, and maybe we stick a little bit to this because this is everybody said when it came out, this is game-changing technology, but sometimes it takes a while before average common people like myself and many other people, they actually realize what this can actually do. And this indeed was a huge eye-opener for me when I was shown this function with this, like this, because this is one of the most, if we try to zoom out and look at the proposal writing job, what you need to do, it's sometimes you, especially if you're if you're the coordinator of the writing process, this understanding everything that you put into conditions of a cold text, which especially in Horizon Europe can be complex. It can be just a little a bi-sentence in the end. It can be an asterisk and you have it at the bottom. But you need to understand and process the information that you the description of what you want to do. You have to write it up against these things when they mention them, and to sit, especially if you're busy, as you are now, Rita, for instance, writing proposals for these horrible Christmas deadlines. Then it's if you suddenly, not suddenly find out, but at some point in time, you might be in a process where you didn't get to read that stuff in when time was like better in November, but you have to, you have to do it, and then you'll have to take that bloody 5, 6, maybe half a day out of your schedule to read and understand and structure that. Here, you just 30 minutes. You feed it with it. If it doesn't find it itself, if it's not on the net, if you just feed it and you make it sum things up and you construct it whatever you want, asking it the way that you need the information out so you can continue your work. This is something that is of an immense help to thousands of proposal developers out there, because this is one of the complexity and work pressure and amount of information you need to handle and deal with as a proposal writer. It's enormous, and sometimes you do several at the same time. This kind of information crunching, something doing it for you, it's gonna save lives.
It really is gonna save lives. And for example, for me personally, it saves time for me to read and dig in the very huge amount of things that I cannot put in there because they are confidential. So there are a lot of things that I am given that I really need to read it through. Maybe Mistral, it's going to be a game changer to that extent also. I will need to try it out. But of course, we deal with a lot of relevant, innovative technology, very important new ideas. Our job, it's a confidential job most of the times. And so there are a lot of things that you cannot run through there. Okay, it's fine. You can do it, but you can skip whatever the time you were investing in reading everything and just check, okay, which of these are the public documents that are there? Which of these are something that I can very, transparently submit and allow it to help me? And also to find bridges, because sometimes the call mentions different kinds of policies of which you are not immediately seeing where's the bridge between it. And when it reads it, again, it's finding patterns between words. And so it can point you immediately to some, very low specified article or footnote around something that you would never see in your life. And that makes the whole difference to wrap up the connection between policies. So, of course, this is one of the examples.
The word breach is one of the power words. Power words means that, these are words that make language models act in a specific way. So when you say, for example, I want my project idea to act as a bridge between this policy, that policy, and so on, it will give you different output than if you would just say generate idea on this topic, okay? Because
did you hear that out there? Use the word bridge.
No, it's just one of many. Really, the bridge is one of the power words, and it gives you. It's called motif, MOTIF. So these are specific words that have different connotation and make LLM, so language models act differently. So use this. It's really.
Kristjan, can I ask you something?
Yeah, sure.
Is this something that will cost people money to take your course to get those, or can I share those the list of words that you know? Wouldn't that would be nice? If you're going to put it on the episode side, these are words that are gonna help you when you.
Okay, we can put some words together. Sure, no worries.
I don't want to ruin your business model.
It's it's not that. So knowing few words doesn't affect me or my business model, but it can help you or anyone else engaged in not just grant writing, but in general, thinking of any kind. And so if it helps, just yesterday I was reading something and there was a good quote, like, what's the meaning of knowledge if you cannot pass it to a new generation? Like, holy crap, yeah, that's a good point, because I can have the biggest head in the planet, and if I don't have anyone, what's the point?
And I completely agree with that. And actually, Kristjan, I think that you have been a very, very, very generous person to the community in the sense that you have been, spraying around to everyone that can take notice and read how to do some very cool things. So I really do think that in that sense, there is a lot of giving back to the community that you have been doing superbly. And I believe if we go to another kind of comparison, how many trainings are out there about project management? It's a never-ending topic, right? And you can give it for free. You can share. And it's a never-ending topic. And I do believe that this is the same. You can give people information for free. They will still want to hear you talking about it. They will still want to benefit from your experience that cannot be put into text, not even with ChatGPT helping out.
No, but it's really interesting, and we are probably all the same in this. But for example, for people who joined the last training we had, I taught them how they can, create. It's called 2-word matrix. So basically, you teach ChatGPT how to make prompts for you instead of you busting your head against the wall. How to write a perfect prompt to analyze text and create something out of it, or answer to some question. You just say, I need a prompt that would answer to this question, and such a amazing animal comes out. Like, oh my God, where does this come from? And I'm giving this often for free in posts. I was teaching that in my last course, and today I had a mentorship one-on-one, and I said, and I got requests, but how can I prompt faster, better? And I said, come on, you saw the material, you listen it, did you try it? No. Why? I don't mind. We can go through it again, but the true challenge for me as a mentor to someone is study that and ask me another question which builds on that, yeah? Because then it's challenging for me too. You have to even say, okay, so today we will stop the session. I need to go back in my cave and, bust my head somewhere. But that's how it is.
I want to keep the nose a little bit in the track here. Now, because it is, but still, I would like us to just have before, because we are slowly moving towards the end of this first episode. But to practically work with the tools, we have been talking about it, and you have been sharing ways that you are working with it yourself. But maybe I would like Could you, Kristjan, try to give a short sketch of how you practically work? Just to methodologically, and then next episode we're going to dig a little bit more into how to use it more practically. But can you just share a little bit of how you approach
Yeah.
it?
Let's try. So, for example, let's say that I have an idea. So again, for us, many things change, and it's not the same for anyone else who is writing for somebody. I had always plenty of ideas, and suddenly I can put them out. So I have an idea. I use ChatGPT to create, let's say, outline of the full project. So it's like problem, solution, some features, basic work packages with 2 or 3 tasks, impact section, deliverables, outcomes, stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So I can do that quite easily, and actually anyone can. If somebody visits my profile on LinkedIn, there is a GPT tool. It's called Fundable AI. You just click on it, and it will help you do that. We're close to 300 now proposal ideas. Not mine. It doesn't count mine, which is really perfect. So I have this basic idea. Then I take it then I, based on this idea, proposal outline, I go and think through, or I use actually chat to brainstorm with me who would be ideal partners. I check my network, contact them, I share them my idea. They give me real life feedback like, okay, this is good, this is shit. Let's, pardon my French, let's change this, improve that. I usually take all the comments. I told them upfront, we work with AI. So if you are against it for any reason, we cannot work together for obviously different mindset on that. Okay, whatever. If they agree, and those who work with me agree, I can just collect the comments, say chat, okay, analyze comments, integrate them into outline, rephrase it so it's seamless and so on, concise. We have a new 0 version, maybe another human iteration, and then I start working on the problem. So for the problem, I have a usually problem statement. I have 1 or 2 literature references. So for that, I need to know more about the problem usually. So I just copy the title. I visit researchrabbit.ai. I insert the topic there. What will happen is that it will find me related articles and research papers on the topic. Okay. So I pick 3, 4, 5, the most interesting one, download them. I go to Claude, upload them, and say, analyze this, what they agree on, what they disagree on, where is the gap. We want to address the gap. Okay. So then I take findings and go back to my initial idea and say, okay, now let's refine this idea based on these findings. Where is the gap not addressed yet, and how will our project look like then? So then everything changes with a click. Again, go back to human beings, discuss, and this is how we do it. I'm paid subscriber to this Quillbot. Quillbot is a really cool tool because I copy paste, or I actually write everything in Quillbot, and I just ask it to streamline my writing, so it's all neat, and it can find the references, do citations, so nothing is copycatted and so on. And maybe I use a lot of Perplexity AI to fact check the defects, metrics, and sources which ChatGPT easily invents, and very confidential, with high self-esteem, says this is the truth, but it's not. Yeah. So this is the initial stuff, So 2 free tools.
This is actually a very nice bridge to the next episode, because this is exactly what we. So I'm very happy that because this is what I wanted. I want you to sort of give people a glimpse of, because any proposal writer will know when they've been listening to what you just said, that all these processes, they know themselves in their head how long it takes normally. So they know very well that now they have a nice cliffhanger for the next episode, where we will dig a little bit more into how each step can be done, and how it also explain a little bit what it has done for yourself and your business, Kristjan, and so on. Rita, is there anything you want to add to this part of it? How to get the most out of them? Have you refined yourself the way of working with it?
I have a little bit, to the extent that there are. So I have created a specific prompt to help me analyze and read the call, to make sure that I don't miss anything. There is, of course, that there are calls that don't need that. They are super straightforward. They are less than half a page, and you don't need that. But there are other calls that have a lot of outcomes, a lot of scope, and also a lot of destination information that you need to go through. And so, to what comes summarizing and making sure that, from the point of view of text analysis, what are the strong words within that document that might not be so, jumping to my eyes. So this is something that I do a lot, frequently, and as a routine. Then another routine that I have is just that I always ask, explain to me like I'm a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like a 10-year-old, sometimes it's like a 15. It depends on the prior knowledge that I have. But it's like, okay, explain to me like I'm a 10-year-old, because it allows you and it forces you to go back to basics. And sometimes you never know if you have an evaluator that is going to be completely inside the scientific area. Potentially it will, but this is not granted. So I use it a lot. I use it a lot for brainstorming. I use it a lot for so the Research Rabbit. I try it also at a suggestion of Kristjan, and it's really interesting. And so I have a very a very specific point that I use it specifically for impact. I think that, to what concerns making sure I identify all of the target groups, it helps a lot. I already know. Yeah, I already know who are the target groups. Of course, I've been reading about that stuff for 2 or 3 months. So, but it allows me to make sure that I am looking at where I should, and there's nothing that I am not seeing.
Yes, because everybody who's writing a proposal knows very well that when it's 5 a.m, you have 2 days to deadline, and you still can see in your text that there's something that could be better. Can very easily oversee underlining a specific target group, or having an important point, dragging that out of your brain and putting it into paper. What would make again? It's something where there's something to help your brain.
Yeah, and this is a really great point, Rita, because most people think you use AI to generate text, whereas in fact it can help you, not just retain quality, but maybe level it up, because it can help you. Did I address? So these are my stakeholders. Check this, analyze this text. Did I address everyone? How well rated? Suggest improvements. Did I miss something? And it can give you insights on, okay, maybe I missed something, or maybe the strategy isn't so good. And, of course, you go back to work, but it helps you. Like studies show, Boston Consulting Group studies show that people knowledge workers using AI were like 25% faster. They did 12% more tasks and had more 40% higher quality of their outputs using AI. And this was for people who were not trained on how to use it. So this is an interesting aspect because on the short term, it seems that people who are not trained on AI are getting more benefits. Well, whereas in the long term, because probably AI will be everywhere, people who will know more about how to use it in certain way will have more benefits. But the point is that you have immediate check, like I did this, I did that. Here is a bit weak point. I can discuss that with my colleagues or rethink it on myself, whatever. And it's not all just about creating. It's just like fact checking and
it's leveling up.
Exactly.
Because one of the things that we what's the bottom line of what we do? So I am a grant writer because I really want to help the best science possible get funding.
Exactly.
Right? So this is the bottom line of what we do. We want to help science. We want to make it happen. Mm-hmm. And if you use a generative AI to check if you're missing something, if you use generative AI to take a look at these 3 past former proved projects and check what is there any out of the box deliverable that I should be aware of that was very interesting. This is the kind of things that I did not remember this target group. What's the relation? And then when it explains why you should consider this target group, it's thinking, okay, so it's so easy to make sure that, again, we are having this considered in making the project better. It's not making the project better just for the sake of approval. Of course, we want approval, but making the project better because it is better. Better research, better innovation, better
processing of information.
And you shared another gold nugget, Rita, and that is most people talk to AI like, do this, do that. So in most cases, they don't say, do this in that way. So how to do it, yeah? Mm-hmm. But the real gold nugget is what you said, is ask it why this way. Because very interesting thing happened. When you ask AI for reasoning why it did something, you get a result. Let's say you don't ask it why. You just get a result. You can say this result is just awesome. And when you ask it, why did you do it this way? It will explain you the logic and you will see, damn, this logic is wrong. And this result is not that great. But also the opposite happens. You can get a result and you say, what the hell is this? And then you ask it for logic behind, and it says, well, this is the way I reached it. So, oh my God, this is outstanding approach. How I couldn't, think of it, because it's there. So asking it why I should talk to this stakeholder, why, should I include them, and so on. You can increase your impact of the science, of the innovation, and ultimately, improve the world we live in. So that's the point.
This is a fantastic outro. Because we need to stop.
Yeah.
But the good thing about this is that it's very, very difficult to stop talking about this because it's extremely interesting. And this is why I'm very happy that we have 2 more episodes to dig into this. No, it's what we are talking about now. It's as I mentioned, it's a fantastic bridge because the next episode is we're going to talk about how to integrate AI in the way that you work out there. So now you had a little bit of a sneak peek of how Rita and Kristjan, they're working with it. I will also share a little bit next episode, because I actually did work a little bit with a proposal at work where I also, so I have a little novice, a little novice. So I do have some background information on my own part. So that's what we're going to do next time. I will try to let these episodes come out fairly close to each other. Maybe I'm just going to take them 1, 2, 3, the week after each other. So you won't have to wait that long for the next episode for this. Rita, Kristjan, thanks for joining.
Oh, thank you for inviting
I'm just going to do a little bit of marketing. Dear listeners, thank you so much for listening to the end. I hope that you enjoy this episode, and you can, of course, sure look forward to the next 2 episodes. Go check out my website, thegrant.eu. I have a huge back catalog now. It's more than 90 episodes. Should be something for your interest. I tried to categorize stuff in there, so you can go in for Horizon. If you have research, I have Campus Corner, I have a consultants, and so on and so forth. Check it out. It's great. And while you are in there, for Christ's sake, for my sake, subscribe to my email list. This is the way for humble podcasters like me to grow. Please subscribe to the email list. Jokes aside, I'm not gonna leave anything else here. Just connect with me on LinkedIn if you haven't already. This is where the fun happens, where I share all this stuff when it comes out. So that's that. Rita, Kristjan, I'm looking very much forward to the next episode.
Me too.
Yeah, me too.
Because it's very difficult to stop talking about this.
It is.
No, but there's so many aspects here, so it's definitely also going to be something that a lot of people will listen to. So that's great. Thanks for joining me, 2 of you, and see you next time. Bye.
Bye.